What's up, everybody? This is Nestor, your brother in peace, love, and justice, and this is Duality of Sorts. So last week's episode was all about struggle, and folks, the struggle is real, but it's not impossible. And what we talked about was working through that struggle to begin to move this huge mountain of change forward. So make sure you check that out. And if you're one of those people that are sitting there passively listening, thinking, you know what? I like what Nestor's saying, but that's just not for me. That's for millennials, or it's for other people to begin working the gray. I challenge that. I would say working the gray is for all of us. All these actions we're going to put, we're not asking you to do all of them. We're asking you to do some of them so we can begin working in the gray. So don't sit there passively. Start taking action. Start moving forward, because it does require all of us. So let's jump straight into the ABCs so we can begin learning what to do to work in the gray. So the first one is oppressed, and this is really important, so everybody listen, really important. Pay attention to the caption if you have the volume off. The oppressed, it is not our job to comfort the oppressor. It is not our job to apologize for being oppressed. Don't walk into the gray thinking you need to walk in with your hands open, begging for change. No, you stand firm in your demand of change. So if you're in a position of the oppressed, demand change. It doesn't require you to do anything other than that to work in the gray. So that's really important moving forward, and that's why I wanted to start with this word. The second word I want to put in there is bias. Acknowledge your bias. Before you can even begin working in the gray, you have to at least acknowledge who you're going to struggle with working in. Be aware of that. I know in order for me to work in the gray, I've always historically struggled with working with wealthy people, but somebody let me know, hey, we need those people to begin to move change. And then I started to acknowledge that. I had to address that, yeah, there are great wealthy people out there that feel the way I feel, so I can work with them, but I would never have known had I not acknowledged my bias for myself. So make sure you acknowledge your biases as you begin to walk and work in the gray. So the third word, non-negotiables. We talked about it a long time ago in one of the other episodes where I said one of my non-negotiables is about pay equity when it comes to certain genders. For me, that's a non-negotiable, because for me, pay equity is about value. And nobody can tell me that a woman's contribution work-wise is less valuable than a man's. That's why that's a non-negotiable for me, but it doesn't mean that I'm not willing to talk to somebody who feels the same way or feels differently than me in the gray. But I will know that it's a non-negotiable for me. So make your own list of non-negotiables as you begin working in the gray. And then finally, and this is the biggie, this is hard. This work is hard. It requires extra effort on your part to even just do the 3 things we've listed, let alone the huge amount of actions we're going to move forward. So acknowledge the amount of effort it's going to take from you and the people you know. So make sure that effort is something you acknowledge, address, and own, because that's what it's going to take. So these are just a few of the ABCs of working in the gray that I'm proposing. Again, if you have some listed in the comments below, we'll make sure to add it to our list. So this has been Duality of Sorts. Again, we're trying to hashtag work in the gray so that we all win. My name is Nestor, your brother in peace, love, and justice. Make sure you join us next week.